I don't have an idea for a painting, ever. That's not a good thing for me to try to do. Because if I have an idea, it's really hopeless for me to try to figure it out with paints and drawing and so on. I have to find the image in the world. The world has to give me an image. So I would say that I don't begin with an idea, I begin with the actual image. And that jumps out at me from the world and says, paint me, paint me. And I get my camera, and I do not make sketches. I don't fiddle around with any of that nonsense. I go and get my camera, and I photograph what is saying to me, paint me, I'm important, I don't ever want to be forgotten. And I take a fair number of photograph slides. I don't use a camera for anything else. I don't take pictures of the children. I don't take pictures of family gatherings. And unfortunately, we don't have any of them unless Barbie takes them. But I do take pictures of the things in my house that seem to want to be kept, these images. So once I've taken all these pictures, and I do take it from every angle, not just the angle that I see it from first, I go round it just in case there's a better angle. And I don't use artificial light, and I don't use anything like a tripod because I've never figured out how to do it. And I don't know what cameras do. I don't know what an f-stop is. I haven't the vaguest idea what any of those numbers mean. I just use the camera. And I just walk around and, my hand is fairly steady. Then I have time between when I saw this thing and when I get the slides back, because I have to send the slides away, and they have to come to me from Toronto. And when I get them back, I kind of hold the box, wondering whether there's going to be anything magic in there or not. And I bring them up to my viewing table and look at them. And sometimes there's not a thing that appeals to me, and I wonder why in the name of God I thought it was going to be interesting. And I put them back in the box and put the box away, and that's it. But usually there's something. Usually there's something in the photography that can be made wonderful if I get it right. So if I find something like that, I put it in the projector, and I project it onto either a piece of paper if it's going to be a watercolor, or onto a canvas if it's going to be an oil painting. And I start. And I draw with my brush. I didn't used to. Sometimes I actually used to use a pencil, because if it were really fine detail, like the scales of a fish or something like that, even the tiniest brush wouldn't give me a fine enough line. So I sometimes used a pencil. And if I used a pencil, I would get some workable fixative and fix it. And then I'd gesso over it so that I could just barely see the drawing. But if I used a brush, well, in a way, I was doing the first paint-in for the painting, because I could put enough paint on the canvas or whatever to guide me when I put away the projector and began to look at the screen, which is what I would do. As soon as the drawing was finished, and I had as much information as I figured I needed, I then go to the screen, and it's just a matter of flicking a switch, and the image comes on the telemate on the screen. And then I start to work as if I'm working from the real thing. I am quite a long ways away from it, and my eyes aren't very good, and so I don't see it very well. And so I really am working as if I have got a drawing done and I'm working from reality.